Hello. So in Physics 323 this semester, we're going to be using some asynchronous screencasts in combination with these things that I'm calling tutorials, in which groups of 2 or 3 students will meet twice a week for hour-long sessions with me. And the question you may be asking yourself is, what exactly is a tutorial? Well, to answer that question, let me start off by telling you what a tutorial is not. It's not this. It's not a situation in which information is fed into your brain by me. It's a much more active process. And, uh, and by active, I mean active on the part of you, the student. A lot of the tutorials are going to be student-led affairs. And the idea of tutorials as a way of learning is not a new idea. They've been doing it at places like Oxford and Cambridge in England for, well, maybe 800 years now. So it has a long track record. And in the United States, Williams College, another liberal arts college in Massachusetts, which we hold in very high esteem, has tutorials embedded as a pretty integral part of their educational experience, and they're pretty happy with how it goes. And the idea of teaching an advanced course like Physics 323 using tutorials is actually one uh, that we were considering even before the pandemic. It has a lot of attractive aspects to it. And then I think, given the realities of remote learning in the pandemic, that makes the case for teaching within the tutorial system even more compelling. So, as I said, we're going to have these tutorials twice a week. So there'll be a total of 13 tutorials. There'll be an hour-long affair that we'll conduct via Zoom. And during each tutorial, students, a central element of it will be students being asked to present something, to explain it to the group, and for others to critique what they have said. So present, explain, and critique. And the things they'll be presenting, they may be problems that are, sort of problem set type problems. They may be, we're going to read a few journal papers this term. So you'll be asked to read and present information about a paper that we've all read. And there'll also be things, I was looking for a third P here. Paradoxes, we'll talk about things like the Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen paradox and Bell's theorem. And the EPR paradox and Bell's theorem are very central elements to the course. And they're pretty deep and require um, careful thinking about. So rather than listening to me explain them to you, you're going to be doing some reading and explaining it to your peers. So that's another P that we could put in our list of Ps. Uh, Peers. The presentations are going to be made so that you can explain things to your peers, and they're going to listen to you and be in a position to critique what you've said. So just to sum up, if you go and you read about tutorials and the way they're taught at places like Oxford or Cambridge or Williams College, there's a lot of writing about it. You can Google around and sort of see for yourself. These are phrases that I saw with various people talking about the advantages of teaching in this way. They foster critical thinking by pushing you to be ready for criticism and to respond to it. Um, you're going to work in conversation with each other. It's not going to be just a presenter presenting. It's going to be a multi-way conversation amongst ourselves. You're going to learn how to learn from each other rather than relying on the professor to profess. That's the part of it I like the best. It's a dialogue. You're going to engage in dialogue. You're going to think on your feet. It's important to listen as well as talk. Here's our present, explain, and critique idea. And an important aspect of this is that everyone has a voice in this. You're not going to be able to stay silent. Everyone is going to have a voice. And let me just close by saying that I think this tutorial method uh, is something that can work well at any level. I think it's particularly great for an advanced topics course like Physics 323. Uh, it's actually begins to get closer to what if you decide to go on to graduate school in something like physics or another science. This is a lot closer to what graduate school is like in the sense that you join a research group and you're going to go off and be figuring out stuff on your own and then meeting with your advisor once or twice a week and having this sort of two-way dialogue in which you explain things to your advisor and they converse with you and maybe give you a little bit of feedback. So this is a great way to begin to move away from a course structure in which the information is being presented to you and have a learning experience, which is really a lot closer to what you're likely to experience for the rest of your lives. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to having these tutorials and I've done things like this before in Physics 310, where students do experiments and then we get together in small groups and discuss them. It's a little bit like this. So I have some experience teaching in this way, but I've never done it quite like this before. So it'll be a learning experience for me as well as you, and I'm excited about it, and I hope you are too. So that's it for my explanation of what is a tutorial. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.